Hello boys and girls, how are you? Good to see you. Now, I found myself at a bit of a quandary today. I was sitting around the house, getting a bit fed up because there's not much happening at the moment. We can't seem to sell the house. There's nothing happening with that. We're going to have to put the price down probably. There's no action on the job front. So everything's pretty bleak at the moment. And so I thought I'd go into the shed of doom and sort out all of my beers and just, you know, see what I've got left and stuff. As it turns out, I've got 3 beers left. One is the Irish Ale that I did, which is basically just lager and golden syrup. I've got that here. There it is. Nice. Look at that. Nice and clear. Very pleasant. However, there's quite a lot of syrup stuff at the bottom of the bottle. But I'll show you that in a second. I've got a bottle of it here. Nice and crystal clear. But down there, you have to be careful. Once you pour it, all the syrup comes up. So, anyway, I've got one of those. I've got about 4 bottles of the Lakey Bloke Oi Oi Bitter Ale left, which are now in my fridge, keeping cold for drinking at some point over the course of the next week or so. I've got Munton's cider. Oh, I know that's not a beer, but the Munton cider, it's a lot better than it was when I first tasted it after I bottled it. I used a 775 yeast on that, and now it's got a kind of sort of West Country proper scrumpy cider taste to it. It's got that sort of dryness, crispness, you know, the sort of oak kind of flavour. It tastes alright, to be honest with you. It's not bad. I prefer just the plain apple juice with the 775, but hey, I had a kit and it needed using up, so I'm happy with that. It seems to have turned out okay. I've got some Mexican cerveza left, folks. Mexican cerveza that I did last year in July time. That's still in there. That seems to be okay-ish. It's not a great tasting cerveza, but it's okay. It's better than it was. And I've also got a Mexican cerveza that I did with the proper Mexican lager yeast, which I'm more happy about because that tastes a little bit more citrusy, which is what you would expect from using the right yeast and at the right temperatures, folks. That's been properly lagered, that one. Come out quite nice. However, what I have got as well is an abundance of WLP 775 cider. Now, the cider's been in there for about 6 months you know, there or thereabouts, at a push. Maybe some has been in there a little bit longer. The problem is, I'm just not drinking cider anymore, folks. I've got into doing lots and lots of different things with beers and, you know, doing my own thing and tweaking beer kits and things, and even making a beer from scratch using liquid extract. I did a Gannon batch a while ago, you probably know, on a previous Homebrew Wednesday video. That was the Amarillo. That was pretty decent beer, and that went really quickly, folks. It really did. Again, sorry about the fridge going off. That's the lager in there, folks, that I've hopped with Haddertau and, well, 2 types of Haddertau. That hopefully will turn out alright. Seems to be fermenting okay, so we'll see how we go. The lagers, folks, as seems to be the case with any light beer, this is just my opinion. The light beers, the lagers and the light ales and things, the longer you leave them, the better they seem to come out. And I guess the same could be said for some of the dark beers as well. However, I've found, certainly on the darker beers that I've done, you know, the more sort of amber beers, they've been fairly drinkable more or less straight away. So I don't know what to take from that, you know, and maybe that's just my experience. Your experience might be completely different. However, aging seems to be the thing to do with all beers, at least 4 to 6 months, which is a shame really, because I haven't got 4 to 6 months worth of beer left. I do have 4 to 6 months worth of cider, so I might have to knock up some more beer. However, you know, once I finish drinking the last few bits that I've got left in the shed, beer-wise, I've run out, folks. I've not got anything left. So what can you do? So here it is. This is the Irish Ale. It's basically a lager, folks, with golden syrup in. I don't know what's so Irish about that. I brewed it sometime last year. It's quite an old beer, this. This is probably about 9 months old, something like that. It tastes perfectly fine, to be honest with you. There's a nice sort of protein kind of haze. Not haze, what's the word I'm looking for? Lacing, that's it, thank you. Lacing, folks. I'll put my teeth in. Dung. I've only had one drink. But it seems okay. I can't really find fault with it. There's no off flavours in there. It's basically a lager. With a very slight golden syrup twang on the back end. It's okay. I wouldn't do it again, probably. But you know, you've got to try different things, haven't you? Yeah, all of the lagers I had done previously, particularly the ones at the lager temperatures, have been a bit hit and miss, folks. The ones at the lager temperatures, some of them have been really good and some of them have been a little bit sort of bland. But I guess the ones I've done with ale yeast have been even worse, really. They're not really lagers, are they? Because you're not doing the lagering process. They're just pseudo lagers with ale yeast. And my thinking is, well, if you're chucking in an ale yeast, then you might as well brew an ale. You know, there's no point. It's pointless you doing a lager. You might as well do an ale. I suppose it's difficult for the people that haven't got a means of doing lagering at proper temperatures. That is probably the main issue for people that do like lagers, is that not everybody's got the means or is fortunate enough to have a beer fridge of doom like me, or a means of controlling the temperature. But that's the only decent thing I've got, folks, is that beer fridge of doom, and even that is basically hastily cobbled together out of a few bits and bobs. It's not a proper fridge. Yeah, ideally I'd like an under the counter fridge. That's like a fridge that you would see behind the bar. You can see it there, folks, there it is, behind the bar of a pub. The shelf's not very sturdy, which is where the beer sits on, so I've had to prop it up with things, and I mean, it works, but it's not the best way of doing it, really. I'd ideally like an under the counter fridge, but hey folks, you know how things are at the moment. Things are pretty shit, and I can't afford to spend any money on anything, basically, until we either sell the house or I find a job. The job situation, for those that are interested and those that have asked me, and those that don't speak to me on a regular basis, is not good. The one that's been going on for quite a while is just still going on, and who knows if it's ever going to happen. I've stopped asking about it now, though, because it's gone on for such a long time, and I'm applying for other jobs and things because I can't hang around and assume that it's going to work out, because chances are it won't, because these things never do they? So here, I just wanted to show you, folks, what it's like in the bottle. There's the Irish Ale, and I want to just sort of step to one side so you can see how clear it is. That's about 9 months old, that. So, there we go, lovely bit of on that. We'll just pour it into the glasses, get some more of it in there. It's not a bad beer, folks. It's, trouble is, this is what happens, you see, at the bottom there. Now, the golden syrup, can you see it? It's gone all cloudy. So the golden syrup has easily disturbed, and so the rest of that beer is basically no good. I've got to chuck it, otherwise I'd be tasting sort of mostly golden syrup. So I probably won't be doing it again. However, in the glass, ding, looks perfectly beautiful, doesn't it? Really crystal clear and nice and lagery. So sometimes you know, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it, folks? What else is going on? You probably saw last week the Kev Mitchell beer reviews. I've still got 4 beers outstanding that Kev has sent me. I'm not going to be doing them just yet until Kev gives me the thumbs up, because he's not happy with them yet. He may very well phone me or call me on Uvu and say, Roy, don't bother with this beer, mate, because I'm not happy with it at all. In which case I'll taste it off camera and I'll see how I feel about it. And because, you know, some people have got different opinions, and you know, what's right for one person, another person tastes it and goes, well, that's horrible, and vice versa, you see. So although I've done beers before and I've tasted them, gone, that is disgusting. The strawberry pale ale kit, folks, by Bulldog, I just tasted another bottle of it, and honestly, it's disgusting. I must stop swearing on camera. It is disgusting, and it's going to have to be chucked, I fear. It's been in the shed for nearly 2 months, something like that. Maybe not as long as that, but certainly a month. And it's, I mean, it looks okay in the glass. It looks perfectly fine. It's just got a, I wish I could explain it to you. It's just got a horrible taste. And I don't know whether it's because I had problems with the yeast not starting on that particular batch, and I just threw in some US-05 and then it took off, and maybe the yeast were fighting against each other and produced this pseudo yeast which was a monster and turned the beer to shit, or whether it's just basically the taste of that kit. And I know Brewmaster Ben has done a taste test of it on a previous Homebrew Wednesday too, and he was not convinced one way or the other, really. He was a bit confused about it, and I can completely understand that, and that's exactly how I feel about it. However, I fear, as well as it not being a particularly good beer, there's something else going on with that batch, and I think I'm going to end up chucking it down the drain, folks. It's really not very pleasant at all, and I certainly would not give it out to anyone to try, because it's just horrible. And you know when something's not right, you know, it's, and this instance, I suspect whoever I gave it to would be saying the same thing. They'd be going, Roy, that's fucking horrible, mate. You got to chuck that. Sorry, I swore again, didn't I? So yeah, it's a nice day, folks. I don't know how much longer it's going to stay nice, because the weather's a bit up and down at the moment, isn't it? And you know, what can you do? So thanks for watching this little video. It's just, I wanted to have a quick chat with you about this Irish Ale, because I've not mentioned it for quite a long time. It certainly looks great. It's a perfectly decent looking beer. Taste wise, it's absolutely fine. Nothing to write home about though. It's a lager with a sort of taste of golden syrup on the back end. Not necessarily a sweet golden syrup, but if you can imagine boiling up some golden syrup on the stove and then just leaving it, and then you have that sort of dry, burnt golden syrup taste and smell. It doesn't really smell. It does a little bit, I guess. Yeah, it tastes a little bit of, smells a little bit of golden syrup. It's got that sort of golden syrup burnt on the stove kind of smell and taste about it. I probably wouldn't do it again. I can think of a million and one other things I'd rather do than doing another one of these. I will be doing more beer soon, folks, so watch out for Lakey Bloke's continuing sagas of pimping out kits. The next one is probably going to be a what's that all about? It's probably going to be another Cascade one, to be honest. I do like the Cascade, and I miss not being able to drink a Cascade beer. So it's just going to be me pimping out a kit with some Cascade. Nothing too exciting. I might throw in some Galaxy, I don't know. But as with all things, folks, when you go to a cupboard and you've got an idea in your head as to the type of beer that you're going to be brewing, when you open the cupboard door and you look at your beer kits and you open the freezer and you look at your hops and you get them out on the table and you check out whether you've got your malt extracts and things, you just put everything out and you go, actually, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to, I'm going to have a go at something else. So who knows? Who knows? I do have some Equinox hops, the Equinox beer that Dom sent me last year while he was over in the country. Was really nice, very fruity and very pleasant. And I've not been able to get hold of it since I tasted that beer. However, recently I found some fella on eBay selling it. So that's come in the post. It came quite quickly, very good. Quite expensive, that particular hop, but hey, what can you do? I'm hoping it is the Equinox hop and it's not another hop with an Equinox label stuck on the front, you know, because you never know, do you, with these fuckers. So there you go, I swore again. So yeah, I will be doing one of those. It's just going to be basically a lager kit with the base, because I've got a lot of lager kits I need to use that. Some malt extract, of course, on the boil, chucking in the Equinox hops at various stages, you know, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and then dry hopping with some Equinox as well. Not going to mix it up with any other hops. That's just going to be a plain sort of, not plain, but you know, bog standard Equinox ale. And you know, I'm chucking some crystal malt as well, because you know I like the crystal malt and I've got some left over. So yeah, that's going to come up soon. I may well change my mind between now and the next Homebrew Wednesday video, and I'll be chucking a video up going, you know, I said I was going to do that. I've changed my mind and I'm going to do this instead. But seriously, folks, I do need to get some beers on, because I'm running out in the shed. And unlike CraigTube, I can't rely on people to send me money. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? Send me money via PayPal. Send me malt extracts, send me complete beer kits that are worth, you know, 23 quid and above, and all of those things that he gets in the post sent to him every week. You never see me begging for those sort of things, folks, honestly. But if you want to send me some, that'd be great. Only joking. Don't get me started, folks. See, that's your fault. You mentioned it. You mentioned it. It's your fault. Okay, you're getting me worked up. Yeah, it's not me, is it really? It's not me, folks. So again, thanks to Kev for the beers for last week, folks. If you want to try this, folks, it does need about 6 to 9 months in a fairly cold place. So, you know, stick it in the shed or whatever. If you can find somewhere, if you've got your garage like Mick has, Mr. Flatbeer, he's got his garage of doom. So yeah, it's not bad. So cheers to you. Oh, I just spit everywhere. I'll see you on the next one. If not, we'll see you on the casts. Had a blast last week, folks, really did. Amazing time. Thank you to the same people that turn up every week. You make my day, folks, you really do. You make it all worthwhile, because let's be honest, if I was just playing it out to myself, I wouldn't be doing it for very long, would I? I'd be switching off. So thanks to the people that turn up on a regular basis. I do appreciate it. You know who you are. I'll see you next time, folks. Ta-da.